Alright everyone, welcome back to my Devil May Cry 5 S-Rank guide, and today I'm going to be helping you with mission 5. So this is another V mission and it's a little longer than the last one, so let's get right into it. So you start off the mission in the sewers, and this first fight here is going to be with a bunch of riots. And like I mentioned in the previous video, these guys are dangerous when they're devil triggered, so you're going to want to watch out. But okay, you can do this fight in two ways. You could just either stay in the corner and look at the wall and then just don't hold lock on and then just press square and triangle. Because if the enemies you're fighting are off screen, they will pacify and will not hit you. But they will try to get on screen, so you will want to watch out. So you can either do that, or you can use our strategy we used in the last video, where we just keep V away from the enemies and then just hold lock on, wiggle your joystick, press square and triangle to do different attacks. That's gonna work too. Just make sure that V is far away. And what you could also do here is you can hold square with Griffin to charge his level 3 lightning, because that's going to help you deal a good bit of damage too. But overall, as long as you avoid getting hit by riots when they devil trigger, you should be good here. As you can see, I'm just kind of jumping around the place, running around the whole arena, moving around, avoiding the enemies while Griffin and Shadow do all the work. You could do that, just make sure you attack with Griffin and Shadow, and overall, yeah, you should be good here. And if you get in the position I'm in now, you could just let out a taunt there, because Griffin and Shadow are keeping the riots busy, they're not coming near you. You should be good, and then you kill them. And if you want, you can pop Nightmare here to make this fight go by a little faster. I do it to, speed things up and also help Griffin, because Griffin is kind of dead at the moment. Here revives Griffin. He's going to help us take out the riots a bit faster. And remember, when you summon Nightmare, you have iframes. So if you're getting attacked by one of the riots, just pop Nightmare and you will be invincible for a little bit. But okay, here I get all three of them stalemated, so now I'll be able to finish them off quickly. Look at that, that's one. Then there is the other one, and there goes the last one too. So yeah, this isn't a hard fight. Nightmare will help you speed things up if you're struggling. And alright, now we're just gonna be moving through for a bit, breaking down some Clive-out routes. So I speed the gameplay up a bit to not waste your time. But alright, here you want to break this route here, but you're gonna want to watch out, because Gilgamesh throws his leg down at you and he'll be able to attack you now. So the second you break the route, you're gonna want to jump off and get to the next encounter. So this next fight is gonna be a bunch of Hellcanas, Hell Antinoras, and a Hell Judeca. And what you can do here is, because there is an explosive barrel right there, so what you can do is lock onto it, use Griffin, and blow it off, giving yourself a head start to the fight by dealing damage to some Hellcanas. And as you can see, it did a lot of damage. Like, I almost instantly killed it right after. So that's very good. And the second one too, it literally almost instantly died. And Gilgamesh is going to try to attack you again, so you're going to want to watch out to not be in front of its arm/leg thing. And then it's back to what we've been doing the whole time. Just keep V away, wiggle your joystick, lock on, and square and triangle. And while we are here, I want to mention that I will end this fight with a pretty bad amount of style. You want to have at least 5,000 when you end the mission. I end this fight with 4,400. But that is okay, because as long as you make up for it and gain over 5,000 style in the fights that come after this, you will be okay. So even if you get under 5,000, do not give up, do not restart. Even if you get like under 4,500, don't give up. Just keep trying, because with V it's very easy to make style back. But alright, you want to beat on the last enemy, and then the Judeca will spawn after you kill the last Hellcana or Hell Antinora, depending on what you have left. And I explained the Hell Judeca's moveset in the last video, but I'm going to go over it real quick again, just in case you haven't seen that and you're here for this one specific mission. So attacks you want to watch out with it is the ones where it stretches, because it's going to try and stretch to attack you when you're further away in the distance. And you want to watch out for the move where it summons lava underground and it's going to like move towards you and then erupt, so you don't want to be at the end of that. It also has a bunch of teleporting attacks which you want to dodge. But okay, what can you do here is you can pop Nightmare to help you take it out faster. And these guys could be a little tough to deal with, because they're going to be teleporting a lot. You think you have them locked down, teleport. So Nightmare is going to help you deal extra damage before it does, because you think you have it knocked down on the ground, teleport. These guys are a lot more fun to fight with Dante and Nero, because they won't be teleporting as much, because with Dante and Nero it's easier to not knock them down on the ground. But Nightmare is certainly a big help. Just make sure you keep attacking them with Shadow and Griffin too, and you will be good. And I should warn you right now, we're gonna be spending a good bit of time on the boss fight in this mission, because Elder Garyon Knight takes a while to die, and we're gonna be playing a safe strategy. It's gonna be the same strategy we used for Needhog, but this time Elder Garyon Knight has more health, so it's gonna take a while longer. I wouldn't say it's gonna be hard for you to beat him, it's just gonna take a little while. Now, as I run out of things to say in this encounter and just start waffling about random crap, V is taking his sweet time killing the Judeka here, so if he could just speed things up, that would be greatly appreciated, because I have to speak for another 5 seconds. But alright, the Judeka is almost dead now. Okay, great, it's dead now. But seriously though, this fight shouldn't be much trouble to you. Maybe about the Judeka, but you should be fine as long as you avoid its attacks. But now, take a look at my style, 4,400. So that isn't good, that is not enough to get an S rank. We need at least 5,000. So in the next few encounters, we are gonna make up for that style, and we're gonna get over 5,000. And like I said, you should not reset if you have like under 4,500, because you'll still be okay as long as you make up for it. Like here, I'm pretty sure in this fight I get 4,800, and that's still not enough, but I made some style, which is good. So as long as there's still a few encounters left in the mission, do not reset, because with V it's very easy to earn style. So if you have like under 4,500 and then you go into another encounter and get over 5,000, that is good. It's very easy to make style with V, I promise. And okay, here we're fighting a bunch of green Impusas and an Impusa Queen. So what you want to do first is focus on the green Impusas, because if you decide that you want to focus on the Impusa Queen instead of killing the green Impusas first, then the green Impusas are gonna decide that they want to heal the Impusa Queen, and that's just gonna be an inconvenience, you know? Plus the green Impusas drop some health, so if you're running low on health during this part of the mission, just kill them and then you'll get a bit of health back, which is good. And then the Impusa Queen is fairly easy to beat. You just want to make sure you don't get grabbed by it, and if you do, just pop Nightmare if you have Devil Trigger, or else if you don't, then good luck, because you're gonna take a lot of damage. But as long as V stays away from it, you should be good. She could like jump at you and then land at you, so you just want to watch out. Just keep moving as V, use dodges if you want, or jumps. But you should be good. It's fairly easy to avoid her attacks. And when you fight an Impusa Queen, it's a good opportunity to build up your style, because they take a good bit of hits, but they are also very easy to avoid. So if you can, take this chance to build up your style. Your familiars might die, so if they do, just get close to their orbs, they'll regen faster. And unless you have Nightmare, you can also use him to regen Griffin or Shadow if they die. And if you pop him, he will also help dispose of the Impusa Queen faster. So yeah, take this fight as an opportunity to do a bunch of different moves on the Impusa Queen to build up your style, and you should be good here. And you should get an increase in style points after this fight. And once you get it stalemated, just use V to take it out, and you are done with this encounter. So this definitely was a better fight. I'm gonna show you now how much style points I got. I'm pretty sure I got 4,800 or something like that. Yeah, so it's an increase in style points. I got an increase here by 400 points. And I still don't have enough for an S rank, but it just comes to show that even if you started off with some pretty bad style in the first few fights, you can still gain some extra style from the remaining fights you got left in the mission. So then you want to break the Clifot roots I just broke, jump into that hole, and the next fight we're gonna be doing is Hell Canis, Hell Antinoras, and a bunch of nobodies. 2 to be exact. And this is gonna be actually the last fight before the boss fight, and you might be saying, we're not even halfway through the video yet. I know, we're gonna spend a good while on the boss fight. But alright, use that explosive barrel to give yourself a boost in the fight. Just make sure you're not in the blast radius, and boom, that's already a Hellcana down, then the other one is already killed. The explosive barrels do a lot of damage, so it's really good when you use them. Just make sure you aren't in the blast radius, or else it's gonna hurt you. But alright, then we have to take out the Antinora, and then once you do that, a few nobodies will spawn, which we will dispose of. So yeah, just make sure if the Antinora empowers, to make sure you just avoid the hit. It doesn't really matter as much if Griffin and Shadow get hit or stalemated, because you can just stand near them and just regen them, and even if only one of them dies, you can still attack with the other one, so it's okay. And the Antinoras aren't too bad to do up your style, because they do take a good few hits, so just vary up your moves while you're fighting it, so you can maximize your style output. And you shouldn't have much trouble with this fight. It's a very easy fight, especially when you use the explosive barrel at the beginning. But okay, now I can take out the Antinora here, and now a bunch of nobodies will spawn. And you're gonna want to take them out fast, because the nobodies can summon other nobodies, which is not good. And a bunch of green Impusas also spawn here, so it would be good to take them out first, because they could heal the nobodies if you fight them first. So if you want, you can pop Nightmare here like I did to speed things up. I got one green Impusa down already. Just take out the other one and you should be good. So Nightmare is focusing on the nobodies, fortunately for me, while I take out the Impusas. Well, I switched targets to a nobody, but Nightmare managed to help me take out a green Impusa. But alright, now that the green Impusas are down, now you want to focus on the nobodies and make sure that you don't let them duplicate. So the best way to keep them in check is to have them both on screen. I managed to do that in a second. But as you can see, I switched targets from one nobody to another one just in case. And then you just don't want to get hit by their eyeballs too when they start launching them, because they explode and then they do damage. So what you can do is you can parry them when they're like putting on a new mask, and that will like stop them from like launching eyeballs. which is very helpful. But alright, now if you got them both stunned, what you could do is do a skewer with Shadow on one of them, because the skewer is one of Shadow's most damaging moves and it would be very helpful here. But alright, as you can see, I almost killed one of the nobodies here. So just keep going at him, and once you take one out, you shouldn't have any problems with the second one. And as long as you focus on attacking it, it should not spawn any more nobodies. But alright, then you just want to keep railing on the nobody. If you manage to knock it down on the ground, do a skewer, it should land. So yeah, just take out this last nobody. Again, the nobodies are a good opportunity to do a bunch of different moves and max out your style. And then it's on to the boss fight, which as you can see from the time left in the video, we're gonna spend a good bit on it. Alright, take out the last nobody and then it's on to the boss fight. Alright, now I'm gonna show you that I have made up for style now. This fight helped me make up my style points. As you can see, I now have over 5,500 almost. So now as long as I don't mess up on the boss fight, I get the S rank. And I'm gonna give you a pretty safe strategy here to not die on the boss. And as you can see, it is quite slow. We still have like 8 minutes left in the video. So try to go into this boss fight with as much health as possible, because if you do tank a hit from Elder Garyon Knight, it's gonna hurt a good bit. So hopefully those green MPs you killed served you well. So the strategy is basically the same thing as we did on Needhog in the last video, except this time you have more of an arena to run around. So what you want to do is hold square with Griffin and then charge his level 3 lightning and then let go, and just keep doing that with Griffin. Well, meanwhile you are attacking with Shadow while charging Griffin. And like I said, it could be kind of awkward attacking with Shadow while holding square, but that is genuinely a really good way to dish out some extra damage. And okay, you see the move that it's doing there now. You want to make sure that your familiars are away from Garyon when that happens, because he can kill them instantly when he does that. And okay, you see when it charges at you and then swings its sword at you, it's very easy to dodge. You can either just double jump with Griffin, or you can just single jump and you will have iframes while in the jumping animation. So you will be good. I popped Nightmare there just in case. And speaking of Nightmare, you want to use him very sparingly in this fight. Don't just shoot him out in the battlefield whenever you feel like it. The only times you're really gonna wanna be using Nightmare is when Griffin or Shadow are dead, or when you think you're about to get hit. Other than that, don't really use him. And when you do end up using him, only keep him on the battlefield for a few seconds, because gaining and maintaining Devil Trigger in this fight can be a bit challenging. But right, as you can see, Garyon here did some time travel shenanigans, and now he is harder to hit and he's gonna be teleporting around the place. So he there killed my familiar, so I popped Nightmare to, you know, save them. And then he teleported behind me, so it was actually very lucky I popped Nightmare there, otherwise I'm pretty sure I would get hit there. I'm pretty sure if I was on the ground, I could have just jumped it and got jump iframes and I would have been good. But I think I got very lucky there by popping Nightmare. If he ends up teleporting behind you, either just jump or pop Nightmare. Or just, you know, double jump with Griffin if you have him alive. Okay, and you see those time domes you just created? You do not want to be inside of those, because they will slow you down, meaning you have a bigger chance of getting hit when you're in there. So you're gonna want to avoid them at all costs. So yeah, just keep charging your attacks with Griffin, try to get some hits with Shadow. You know what you could do? You could empower Shadow, give him a bar of Devil Trigger, and he will attack by himself for a while. So you see what I just did there, walking into the time bubble. Do not do that. Just stay outside of it. So here Garyon tries to get a few slashes at me, so I just jump away. Again, if he like directly attacks you, you can just use Griffin to fly away, or just jump. Single jumps give you iframes. And there, he killed one of my familiars there, so I just popped Nightmare to get him right back. And as you saw there, he tried to take a swing at me, so I just used Griffin to get me out of the way. And then I only keep Nightmare on the battlefield for a few seconds, and then I call him off again. And then just rinse and repeat what you were doing. I know it's a slow tactic, but it's a very safe one. It's a slow burn, I know, but we'll get there. So there, once again, one of my familiars dies again, so I just pop Nightmare for a bit to get them back up. Though I make a mistake here, because I accidentally forgot to turn off Devil Trigger. So I waste almost all of it here. So just don't do that mistake. Only keep Nightmare on the battlefield for a few seconds. I don't do it here, and I won't have Nightmare for a bit. And as I mentioned, Nightmare is pretty important in this boss fight if you use him correctly. Oh, and Garyon can actually also launch projectiles at you. So a good way to dodge them is actually using Shadow. Because if you dodge them right with Shadow, then you can get some extra style points in there, which is nice. So yeah, here I just only realized that I still have Devil Trigger on. And I'm only left with 1 bar now. So I'm gonna have to, you know, make up some DT by fighting Garyon for a bit. And if Garyon killed both my animals now, without me having my Devil Trigger, that would be very bad, because then he would strictly focus on me, because I'm the only thing that's left alive then. So you really want to have Nightmare. And that will mean I could literally do no damage to Garyon for a bit until Shadow or Griffin come back alive, because V can literally do no damage unless you jump cancel with the cane for a bit, which only really works on Goliath. But luckily I regained my devil trigger just in time because Griffin and Shadow start dying. So I pop Nightmare there for a bit. They both come back to life and I get rid of him right now. So now I at least have Nightmare if things get iffy at any time now. And now I can also use Griffin and Shadow to gain more devil trigger so that I can summon him more. So we still have a bit more of the boss fight to go. Soon he's gonna devil trigger. So when he devil triggers, you're really gonna wanna avoid getting hit, because I know I say this a lot, but you are actually gonna get so hurt if you get hit while Garyon is in devil trigger. So you're going to want to watch out. And he's also going to be taking a lot more damage now. So that will extend the boss fight by a bit too. So I take a hit here because I'm an idiot and did not realize that Griffin was dead. So I instantly summon Nightmare just to get Griffin back alive. So yeah, now that Griffin's back alive, I start blasting lightning at him again. And it's rinse and repeat till it ends. We still got a bit to go. Avoid Garyon's hits. Make sure you try to land some attacks in with Shadow. I know I'm repeating myself a lot here, but come on. This boss fight is long. But alright, you want to dodge these projectiles because they instantly kill your animals. I took a hit there too. It wasn't too bad on me, but it instantly killed Shadow and Griffin. So you're going to watch out here. And they could be a bit hard to dodge because they go in multiple directions. But I just popped Nightmare to bring Shadow and Griffin back to life. And I do that, and then literally 2 seconds afterwards, Shadow dies. So like, thanks buddy. But I'm not exactly too much worried about Shadow being dead because Griffin is our main source of damage in this boss fight. So I'm not actually going to pop Nightmare here. He's just going to regen by himself. So then here Garyon runs at me, so I just jump out of the way. It's really easy to just jump out of this attack because he doesn't hit it high. He like hits it to the ground, you know. So it's kind of easy to just jump away from it normally without Griffin. Here he launches some normal projectiles at me. These are easy to dodge. You can even just use Shadow's dodge and get some extra style points in for your style meter. And here he does a slow-mo sphere again, so you just want to make sure you're not inside that. I stay inside it because I'm an idiot, but that's okay. And then here he kills Shadow. And again, I don't really need Nightmare to revive him because I don't really use Shadow that much in here, just for some extra damage. But alright, I run out of time sphere and then I run back into it again, so I don't really know what I was doing. But anyway, I mean, you can stay in there if you want, but it does make Garyon a little harder to fight, so. And at this point, Shadow is almost back in the game, but then he instantly kills Griffin, so I summon Nightmare to gain Griffin back instantly. So I am sensing some favoritism going on here by V. And look at this, he launches a small time sphere at me and then he throws a projectile out, so I get hit. So that's exactly why you want to get out of those time spheres as soon as possible, or else you will catch a projectile or something. So there he does his lightning barrage thing again, so you want to get one of your animals out of there, preferably Griffin, but I don't because I'm stupid, so they both get killed, so I instantly summon Nightmare to get them back. I think I said this sentence like a million times during this boss fight, but whatever. But we're almost there at this point. He's got very little health left. He might be devil triggered at this point, so just avoid getting hit and you will be good. We are almost done with this fight. Here Nightmare even helps a bit, gets a few hits in before I call him back off. I'm pretty sure I forget to turn him off again, so my devil trigger goes a little low, so don't do that, because again, if Shadow and Griffin die while you have Nightmare unavailable, that's kind of bad news. Okay, you know what, that wasn't too bad. I didn't turn it off terribly wrong. I just needed a few hits to regain some devil trigger. And again, watch out for these projectiles. Instantly killed Shadow and Griffin, so I have to pop Nightmare to get them back. Just try to avoid them as V. It doesn't really matter if Shadow or Griffin die as long as you have Nightmare on deck. And you should be good here. We are almost done with this boss fight. Look how low on health he is, so as long as you just don't make any stupid mistakes now, you should be good to go. Just a few more hits and he's dead. And at this point I just keep Nightmare in there because like we won't need him anymore because Garyon is basically dead by now. And boom, there he is, stalemated, going for the stab. V says some poetry crap. What is the downside of eating a clock? It's time consuming, quoted by William Shakespeare. And we are done here. All that's left is to see the rankings. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Decent. 6,390, and that's an S rank. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it helped to the people trying to rank run. If it did, of course, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.